Every 11 seconds, an older adult is treated in an emergency room for a fall-related injury. 1 in 4 people over 60 will fall this year, and many will never fully recover their independence. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and what I'm about to share with you could literally be life-saving. The solution to balance problems isn't expensive physical therapy sessions or risky medications. It's 5 specific nutrients that can restore your balance and stability within weeks, and they might already be available in your kitchen or local pharmacy. I've spent years researching the connection between nutrition and fall prevention, and what I discovered genuinely shocked me. The medical establishment treats balance problems with prescriptions and walking aids, completely ignoring the nutritional deficiencies that are actually causing the problem in the first place. Today, I'm revealing 5 vitamins and minerals that can transform your balance, strengthen your legs, and give you the confidence to move freely again. But first, let me show you why this matters more than you might realize. Falls aren't just about broken bones or bruises. They're about losing your independence, your confidence, and sometimes your entire quality of life. Picture this scenario that happens to thousands of seniors every single night. You wake up at 3 a.m. needing to use the bathroom. You swing your legs out of bed, stand up, and suddenly the room spins violently. You reach desperately for the nightstand, miss it, and hit the floor hard. Most people who experience this have no idea it could have been prevented with the right nutrients. Here's what the research shows us. A comprehensive study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed over 4,000 adults over 60 for 5 years. What they found was truly heartbreaking. After experiencing a serious fall, 40% never returned to their previous level of independence. 25% required long-term care facilities. The psychological impact was devastating as well. 70% developed such a profound fear of falling that they severely limited their activities, which ironically increased their risk of falling again. But here's the part that genuinely makes me frustrated with the current healthcare system. When researchers carefully analyzed the blood work of frequent fallers versus those who maintained excellent balance, they discovered something absolutely shocking. Nearly every person who fell regularly showed severe deficiencies in specific vitamins and minerals. Not just slightly low levels, but genuine, severe deficiencies. And here's what's truly disturbing. Their doctors had never tested for these deficiencies or recommended any supplementation whatsoever. Your balance system is remarkably complex. It relies on coordinated signals from your inner ear, your vision, your muscles, and thousands of specialized nerve endings throughout your feet and legs. All of these interconnected systems require specific nutrients to function properly. When you become deficient, these systems begin failing one by one. Your reaction time slows noticeably. Your muscles weaken gradually. Your nerves can't transmit signals fast enough. Suddenly, a small stumble becomes a devastating fall. The truly scary part is that these deficiencies develop so slowly you barely notice. You don't wake up one morning suddenly unable to balance. It happens gradually over months and years. First, you notice you're slightly unsteady on stairs. Then you find yourself holding furniture more often when walking around the house. Then you start avoiding certain activities entirely because you simply don't trust your balance anymore. By the time you recognize there's a real problem, you've already lost months or even years' worth of nutrients your body desperately needed. Now let me show you the solution. These 5 nutrients can restore your balance, strengthen your stability, and give you back your confidence. I'm going to tell you exactly how much you need, when to take them, and which specific forms work best for aging bodies. Let's start with the most critical nutrient for maintaining balance, and that's vitamin D. I'm not talking about just meeting the minimum requirements. I'm talking about achieving the optimal levels that most doctors never mention. Vitamin D is absolutely essential for muscle strength and coordination. Your muscle cells have vitamin D receptors built into them, and when these receptors aren't properly activated, your muscles become weak and slow to respond to commands from your brain. A groundbreaking study from the University of Zurich examined over 2,000 adults over 65. They discovered that people with vitamin D levels above 40 nanograms per milliliter experienced 60% fewer falls than those with low levels. 60%. That's not a marginal difference. That's genuinely life-changing. Here's what most people don't understand. The standard recommendation of 600 to 800 international units per day is nowhere near sufficient for most seniors. Your body needs vitamin D for dozens of critical functions, and as you age, your skin becomes dramatically less efficient at producing it from sunlight exposure. You can spend hours outdoors and still remain severely deficient. Here's exactly what you need to do. Get your vitamin D level tested through blood work. Don't just accept being told it's normal. Ask for the exact number. You want your level between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter. If you're below that range, and the vast majority of seniors are, you need to supplement with 2,000 to 4,000 IU daily. Take it with a meal containing healthy fats because vitamin D is fat-soluble. A handful of nuts, some avocado, or a piece of fatty fish will dramatically improve absorption. Studies show it takes approximately 8 to 12 weeks of consistent supplementation to see the full benefits in balance and muscle strength. However, many people report feeling noticeably more stable and confident within just 4 to 6 weeks. I know someone who fell 3 times in 6 months. After optimizing her vitamin D levels through testing and proper supplementation, she went 2 full years without a single fall. Her leg strength improved so dramatically, she started gardening again, something she'd completely given up because she couldn't trust her balance while kneeling and standing repeatedly. The next nutrient is even more powerful, and it's the most common deficiency I see in people over 60. Vitamin B12 is the nutrient your nervous system absolutely cannot function without. When your nervous system isn't working properly, your balance simply disappears. Here's why this matters so profoundly. Your balance depends on something called proprioception, which is your body's innate ability to know where it is in space without looking. Specialized nerve endings in your feet, ankles, and legs constantly send rapid signals to your brain about your exact position and movement. When you're B12 deficient, these crucial signals slow down dramatically or stop transmitting altogether. A significant study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine examined over 500 adults over 65 who were struggling with balance problems. When researchers checked their B12 levels systematically, they were genuinely shocked. 43% were clinically deficient. But here's the truly amazing part. After just 12 weeks of proper B12 supplementation, those same individuals showed a remarkable 47% improvement in standardized balance tests. Their walking speed increased measurably, their confidence improved dramatically, and their fall risk dropped substantially. The underlying problem is that as you age, your stomach produces progressively less of a crucial substance called intrinsic factor. You absolutely need intrinsic factor to absorb B12 from food properly. So even if you're eating plenty of meat, eggs, and dairy products, you might not be absorbing nearly enough B12 into your bloodstream. Certain common medications make this situation significantly worse. If you take metformin for diabetes management or proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, you're at dramatically higher risk for B12 deficiency. You want your B12 level above 400 picograms per milliliter, and ideally above 600 for optimal nervous system function. But the form of B12 matters enormously. Most standard supplements contain cyanocobalamin, which your body must laboriously convert into the active form. Instead, specifically look for methylcobalamin or sublingual B12 tablets. These forms absorb far more effectively, especially if your stomach isn't producing adequate intrinsic factor anymore. Take 1,000 micrograms daily, and take it in the morning rather than evening. B12 can provide noticeable energy, so you don't want it disrupting your sleep. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you should notice improvements in your overall energy levels. Within 6 to 8 weeks, your balance and coordination will start improving measurably. Many people also report that persistent brain fog clears up significantly because B12 is essential for optimal cognitive function. The third nutrient will genuinely shock you. This mineral is involved in over 300 separate biochemical processes throughout your body, and almost every senior is deficient in it. Magnesium is the forgotten mineral for balance and stability. While everyone obsesses over calcium for bone health, magnesium is actually far more important for preventing falls. Here's the mechanism. Magnesium directly controls muscle contraction and relaxation. When you're deficient, your muscles remain partially contracted constantly. They become tight, crampy, and slow to respond to movement commands. Those painful leg cramps that jolt you awake at night? That's usually magnesium deficiency. That frustrating feeling of stiffness when you first stand up from sitting? Magnesium deficiency. But the situation is actually worse than that. Magnesium is also absolutely essential for vitamin D to work properly in your body. Your body requires adequate magnesium to convert vitamin D into its biologically active form. So even if you're faithfully taking vitamin D supplements, without sufficient magnesium, you won't receive the full benefits. A comprehensive study from the Journal of Nutrition followed 1,200 adults over 60 for 4 years. Those with the highest magnesium intake had a remarkable 37% lower risk of falling compared to those with the lowest intake. These weren't people taking massive supplement doses. They were simply getting adequate amounts through diet and moderate supplementation. The recommended daily amount is 320 milligrams for women and 420 milligrams for men. But here's the fundamental problem. Modern industrial farming practices have severely depleted magnesium from our soil. The vegetables you eat today contain 40 to 60% less magnesium than identical vegetables grown 50 years ago. Plus, chronic stress, caffeine consumption, and many common medications all actively deplete magnesium from your body. You need to supplement, but the specific form matters tremendously. Magnesium oxide, the most common and cheapest form, has terrible absorption rates. Only about 4% actually enters your bloodstream. Instead, look specifically for magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate. These forms absorb far more effectively and are much gentler on your digestive system. Take 300 to 400 milligrams daily, split into 2 separate doses. Take 1 dose in the afternoon and 1 before bed. Magnesium promotes relaxation and improves sleep quality, so that bedtime dose provides double benefits. You should notice significantly less cramping within 1 week, better sleep within 2 weeks, and measurably improved balance and muscle function within 4 to 6 weeks. Here's a practical tip that enhances results. Eat more magnesium-rich whole foods as well. Dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and black beans are all excellent natural sources. Soak nuts and seeds overnight before eating to improve mineral absorption. When eating greens, add healthy fats like olive oil, because magnesium absorption improves substantially when consumed with dietary fat. Most people completely overlook this next nutrient, but it's absolutely crucial for maintaining leg strength and preventing those sudden weakness episodes that so often lead to falls. Potassium is the mineral that keeps your muscles strong, responsive, and ready to react. Every single time your muscle contracts, it uses potassium. When you're deficient, your muscles become weak and fatigue extremely easily. You know that unsettling feeling when you stand up and your legs feel shaky and unreliable? That's very often low potassium signaling distress. Here's what most people fail to realize. Potassium works in critical partnership with sodium to control fluid balance and nerve signal transmission. When you're potassium deficient, excess sodium remains trapped inside your cells. This causes swelling, elevated blood pressure, and severely impaired muscle function. But when your potassium levels are optimal, your muscles stay strong and responsive, your nerves fire properly, and your balance improves dramatically. A fascinating large-scale study from the American Heart Association tracked over 14,000 adults over 65 for an average of 8 years. Those consuming the highest amounts of potassium experienced significantly fewer falls and maintained better mobility scores throughout the study period. The researchers concluded that adequate potassium intake was one of the single most important dietary factors for maintaining independence in older adults. You need approximately 3,000 to 3,500 milligrams of potassium daily. But here's critical guidance. You should obtain this from whole foods, not supplements. High-dose potassium supplements can be genuinely dangerous, especially if you have any kidney problems or take certain medications. Instead, focus consistently on potassium-rich foods. The absolute best sources are bananas, sweet potatoes, white potatoes with their skin, spinach, avocados, and white beans. One medium sweet potato contains about 450 milligrams of potassium. One banana provides roughly 400 milligrams. A cup of cooked spinach delivers over 800 milligrams. Eat 2 to 3 servings of these foods daily, and you'll easily reach your potassium target. Here's a powerful practical tip. Start every day with a potassium-rich breakfast. Eat a small baked sweet potato with your eggs, or enjoy a banana with almond butter alongside your morning coffee. This provides your muscles with the potassium they need precisely when you're most active during daytime hours. Many people notice substantially stronger legs and better stability within just 2 to 3 weeks of consistently increasing their potassium intake from whole foods. What I'm about to share is the final piece that changed everything for people I know who struggled with balance despite doing everything else correctly. Omega-3 fatty acids complete the puzzle. Acids. You probably already know omega-3s benefit your heart and brain, but few people realize how critical they are for balance and physical stability. Here's the underlying mechanism. As you age, chronic inflammation increases throughout your entire body. This persistent inflammation progressively damages the tiny specialized nerve endings in your feet and legs that are absolutely essential for maintaining balance. Omega-3s are remarkably powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that actively protect these vulnerable nerves from damage. But there's an additional benefit. Omega-3s also significantly improve muscle protein synthesis. This means your muscles can actually rebuild and grow stronger even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. A study from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed adequate omega-3s maintained significantly more muscle mass and functional strength than those with chronically low intake. Here's something truly remarkable. Researchers at the University of Aberdeen tested balance capabilities in older adults before and after 12 weeks of omega-3 supplementation. The group taking omega-3s showed a dramatic 29% improvement in standardized balance scores. They were measurably steadier on their feet, demonstrated better reaction times, and reported feeling substantially more confident in their movements. You need approximately 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily. Those are the two biologically active forms of omega-3 fatty acids. You can obtain this from fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines. 3 to 4 ounces of wild salmon provides roughly 1,500 milligrams. But if you're not eating fish regularly, and honestly most seniors aren't, you need a high-quality fish oil supplement. Look for a supplement that clearly lists the EPA and DHA content directly on the label. You want at least 500 milligrams of each compound. Take it with a meal containing fat to improve absorption and reduce any potential fishy aftertaste. Some people strongly prefer krill oil because it absorbs even more efficiently and doesn't cause uncomfortable burping. That's an excellent alternative option. Within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent supplementation, you should notice reduced joint stiffness and improved overall mobility. Within 8 to 12 weeks, your balance will improve significantly and measurably. As a valuable bonus, many people report better memory and mental clarity because omega-3s powerfully support brain health and cognitive function. Now here's something critically important that most people completely miss. All 5 of these nutrients work together synergistically, meaning they enhance each other's effects. Vitamin D requires adequate magnesium to activate properly. B12 functions more effectively with sufficient potassium. Omega-3s help your body absorb and utilize vitamin D. When you address all 5 nutrients together consistently, the results are dramatically better than focusing on just 1 or 2 in isolation. But there's a common mistake I see constantly. People start supplementing and expect immediate overnight results. Here's the honest truth. Your body has likely been deficient for months or even years. It takes real time to rebuild your nutrient stores and repair the accumulated damage. You need to commit to at least 8 to 12 weeks before fairly judging the results. Timing also matters significantly. Take vitamin D and omega-3s with your largest meal of the day because they're fat-soluble nutrients. Take B12 in the morning for sustained energy throughout the day. Take magnesium split between afternoon and evening doses. Get your potassium consistently from whole foods throughout each day. One more absolutely critical point. If you're currently taking medications, especially blood thinners, diabetes medications, or blood pressure medications, talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements. These nutrients are generally very safe, but they can potentially interact with certain medications. Your doctor may need to adjust your medication doses as your nutrient levels improve and your health optimizes. Here's the bottom line that I want you to truly understand. Falls are not an inevitable part of aging. Poor balance is not something you simply must accept as your fate. These 5 nutrients give your body exactly what it needs to maintain strength, coordination, and stability. They work at the cellular level to rebuild your nervous system, strengthen your muscles, and restore your confidence in movement. If you want more proven strategies for staying strong, independent, and healthy after 60, please subscribe to Dr. Emily Carter. I share research-backed information that can genuinely transform your health, and I never recommend anything I wouldn't confidently recommend to my own family members. Comment below and tell me which of these 5 nutrients you'll focus on first. Are you going to start by optimizing your vitamin D levels? Or maybe you recognize you need more B12? Let me know what resonates most with your current situation. Remember this fundamental truth. You have far more control over your balance and stability than you've been told by the conventional medical system. Your body is incredibly resilient and beautifully responsive when you give it the right nutrients consistently. Start today. Be patient and consistent. Within weeks, you'll feel stronger, steadier, and more confident in your movements. Your independence is absolutely worth protecting.